Hi guys, welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 1, Quiet Places. And in this lesson we're going to be looking at how details can reveal deeper truths. So this is something that we have looked at before, but we will continue looking at, and in this case we'll be looking at it in terms of actual pictures. So these are pictures from a collection called Quiet Places by a photographer named Mitch Epstein. And what he did for this collection was he went around to different famous people who had just recently passed away, and he took pictures of their workplaces um, before people were able to get in and start moving things around or taking things out or things like that. So the you know pretty much these places were just as they had left them. In this level, in this lesson, excuse me, we will look at one example. I'll walk you through one example together, and then I'll release you to go and complete the other examples on your own time before we discuss as a class. So let's take a look at this example here. So this picture is, we can notice a number of things, and you'll see on your worksheet for each of the pictures that it's going to ask you to notice three details. Now, does it matter which details you pick out? No, I want to know which details, kind of strike out strike you as interesting. So for this example, I've picked three, and I'm going to go through basically when we write the description of the detail, what would be an okay description, a more decent description, one that I might expect to be a little bit more on par with this class, and then a superior description for those of you guys who are looking to do a little bit more. So let's look at the first one. I'm going to focus up here kind of in this upper portion of the picture. I'm looking here and I'm seeing a bunch of Native American imagery here, like those paintings you can see. Looks like maybe a detailed charcoal sketch over there on the left. I see tons and tons of like Native Americans in headdresses. You've got the bald eagle up there and any number of things that are maybe too small to really determine what they are, but it's very clear that they're kind of all in the same vein. You've got the vase full of, it looks like some sort of feathers up there. So lots and lots of Native American imagery there. And so if I were to write this on my worksheet and maybe not be quite as insightful as I wanted to be, then so this would just be an okay description. I might write this. The pictures of Native American imagery are details that show this person probably is a member of an American tribe. So that, in that case, we've noticed the images, we've noticed the details, but our takeaway from that is fairly simple. We've said this person has Native American imagery, therefore they are probably a Native American. It's it's a good guess, but it's a little bit obvious, and the writing in that description is fairly straightforward and workmanlike. So I would say that that's, it's not bad, but I think maybe we're looking for a little bit more depth and a little bit more creativity in our description. So let's look at another detail then. A second detail might be over here on the right. We've got what looks to me like a collection of canes or walking sticks. There's three of them. It look like they're kind of hand carved, maybe out of native wood or something like that. So I'm just noticing that and I'm thinking about it. And if I were going for a decent description, so one that's a little bit better, a little bit more insightful maybe than the previous description of the previous detail, then it might look something more like this. A collection of hand-carved walking sticks imply that this person may have been old or perhaps handicapped. So the writing in that sentence is a little bit more sophisticated. Um, I'm using slightly larger words. I've got the word imply. I'm describing the detail I'm describing the detail with a little bit more detail. There's a collection of hand-carved walking sticks. So I got that hand-carved in there. It's a collection. I could have said the collection of 3 hand-carved walking sticks or something like along those lines. I've got the word perhaps in there. I've also got 2 possibilities for what I'm learning, right? Like maybe they were old, maybe they were handicapped, maybe they were both. I could have even added that as well. So I would call that on par with what I would expect most of you are capable of doing in your own writing. Let's do one more for a superior example, and for that I'm going to look here at this work area. So I'm really going to kind of focus on maybe the desk and the papers and the books and the bookshelves and all of that stuff. I'm looking at all of that and just noticing that, there's a lot kind of going on there, and I'm going to try to boil it down to one uh, sentence that really tells us a lot. So if I were to write that in a superior description, it might sound something like this. The well-worn furniture of this office area contrasts with its meticulous organization, meaning, we can see that it's well used and yet it's obviously taken care of and kept in good order, right? The sentence goes on to say, implying perhaps that this person loved regularity and consistency in their life. So kind of getting deeper into the person's psyche, into who they are inside, what kind of person are they? They like regularity, which may be why they still have all of this kind of old furniture. They've never really replaced it. They like consistency, that maybe that's why everything seems to have its place, right? It's, meticulously organized is what I said. So you can see hopefully the progression of the types of descriptions I'm providing for those. And also just, 3 things that I've noticed. We could definitely notice more things in this picture, but those are the 3 that I'm picking out. Finally, what we would want to do is take those details that we've noticed and the descriptions that we've given of them and just kind of say, like, what do these reveal? Like, what do we now know about this person? And so, or what do we think we know about this person? And so I wrote this. I said, taking these details into consideration, I would expect this person to have a connection to Native American heritage, perhaps someone who has lived with it or studied it for a long time, and who not only takes their work seriously because of the respect they have for it. Ooh, I have a typo there because I said who not only takes their work seriously, implying that I actually wasn't finished with my sentence. And then I didn't actually read it carefully enough before publishing this. So that sentence actually is not complete, but I'm just going to have to live with it. So maybe I could say not only takes their work seriously because of the respect they have for it, but also perhaps, wants to be able to study it or something like that. That would help complete the sentence there. So it's going to be your turn now. In your notebook, you will notice that there are 3 additional pictures, all in the same vein. So, it's somebody who's recently deceased. You'll look at the details and you will do what I just did. You can start wherever you want. So you can do any of the remaining pictures, complete one and move on to another, and do as much as you can in the remaining time before class discussion starts. Once class discussion starts, please be prepared to share the work that you have completed with the class, and I'll see you there.